The disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370 about to be solved.
It's been 9 years since Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 vanished, taking with it 239 passengers and crew. The plane was never seen again, and its disappearance remains one of the most perplexing mysteries in aviation history. On March 8, 2014, Flight 370 seemingly disappeared into thin air, leaving the world shocked and filled with unanswered questions. Now, a decade later, new clues have surfaced that could reshape the story behind this baffling tragedy. But what forces have kept the truth hidden for so long? Could these new discoveries finally reveal what happened to the plane and the 239 souls on board? Join us as we delve into the mystery of MH370's disappearance, exploring the latest revelations and their potential to shed light on one of aviation's greatest puzzles. MH370 was a scheduled international passenger flight operated by Malaysia Airlines, bound for Beijing, China. On board were 227 passengers from 14 different countries, alongside 12 Malaysian crew members, making for a truly diverse group of travellers. The flight took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on March 8, 2014, embarking on a seemingly routine journey of around 5,570 kilometres. The aircraft, a Boeing 777-200ER, was renowned for its reliability and safety. As a key player in long-haul flights, it was trusted by airlines and loved by passengers worldwide. Yet, despite its strong safety record, this flight would take an unimaginable turn, leading to one of the most confounding mysteries in modern times. As the plane lifted into the night sky, everything appeared to be running smoothly. The Boeing 777 ascended gracefully to its cruising altitude, gliding effortlessly through the clouds. Passengers settled into their seats, some drifting off to sleep, while others enjoyed in-flight entertainment like movies or music. At 1:19 a.m. Malaysian Standard Time, a routine handover was expected between Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control and Ho Chi Minh City Air Traffic Control in Vietnam. But this is where things took a sudden, fateful turn. An eerie twist. The last voice transmission from MH370 came when either the captain or first officer calmly said, "Good night, Malaysian 370. No one could have known that these seemingly ordinary words would soon become haunting. They marked the final known communication from the flight. After that, the plane and everyone on board simply vanished. Despite years of extensive searches and investigations, MH370, its passengers and its crew disappeared without a trace. The mysterious disappearance sparked global alarm, endless speculation, and an ongoing quest for answers. How did MH370 become a ghost in the night sky, baffling investigators and aviation experts for years? As mentioned earlier, MH370 was a scheduled flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8, 2014, carrying 239 people. The Boeing 777-200ER was a modern aircraft, equipped with advanced technology. The flight was under the command of Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, both experienced and dedicated professionals. At around 1:01 a.m. Malaysian Standard Time, while cruising at 35,000 feet, the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, sent a routine data report indicating everything was functioning normally. But just 6 minutes later, at 1:07 a.m., ACARS transmitted its last signal. What happened after that remains a mystery that continues to confound investigators. At around 1:19 a.m., as the plane was crossing from Malaysian to Vietnamese airspace, the cockpit made a routine radio transmission. The crew said, "Good night, Malaysia 370," as part of the standard handover between Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control, ATC, and Ho Chi Minh City, ATC. No one realised it would be the final communication from the flight. Just 2 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m, the plane's transponder, which relays vital data like its position, speed and altitude to ground radar, suddenly stopped transmitting. MH370 disappeared from secondary radar, vanishing from conventional tracking systems. Only its faint presence remained on primary radar, which offered only a rough idea of its position and altitude. Attempts by Ho Chi Minh City ATC to contact the plane, starting at 1:30 a.m, were met with silence, deepening the mystery. At 8:19 a.m, MH370 made one last connection, a brief digital handshake with the Inmarsat satellite, a ghostly signal before it disappeared for good. In those final moments, routine operations were replaced by an eerie silence, leaving investigators puzzled. The plane seemed to vanish into the night sky, leaving behind only scattered digital clues, making it one of the most baffling aviation mysteries in history. MH370's disappearance raised serious concerns about the non-verbal communication systems in modern aviation. Advanced aircraft like the Boeing 777 continuously send data to ground control, much like a digital health check. With the Inmarsat satellite, a ghostly signal before it disappeared for good. In those final moments, routine operations were replaced by an eerie silence, leaving investigators puzzled. The plane seemed to vanish into the night sky, leaving behind only scattered digital clues, making it one of the most baffling aviation mysteries in history. MH370's disappearance raised serious concerns about the non-verbal communication systems in modern aviation. Advanced aircraft like the Boeing 777 continuously send data to ground control, much like a digital health check. Although the verbal communication ceased hours before, the final automated signal, a brief handshake with the Inmarsat satellite at 8:19 a.m, left investigators with even more questions. When MH370 vanished from radar and its transponder went silent, it left behind a chilling void that captured the world's attention. Despite exhaustive search efforts over many years and across the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, the plane's final location remains unknown. A few confirmed debris pieces, found thousands of miles away, have only added to the mystery. The search in the first 24 hours focused on the plane's last known position in the South China Sea, but soon expanded into an international mission involving 26 countries. These nations combined their resources, ships, planes, submarines, personnel, and cutting-edge technology, covering a search area of approximately 1.7 million square miles, an area as large as Australia. It was like searching for a needle in an ever-shifting haystack in the dead of night. To tackle this massive challenge, search teams relied on satellite data, aircraft performance analysis, and cutting-edge technology to narrow down the possible crash site. A curved arc in the southern Indian Ocean was identified as the most likely location where the aircraft's journey ended. One of the key tools used in the search was the towed pinger locator, designed to detect signals from the plane's flight data and cockpit voice recorders, commonly known as black boxes. Time was of the essence, as the black box's battery life only lasted about 30 days. When the acoustic signals from the black box fell silent, the search shifted focus. Autonomous underwater vehicles and vessels equipped with advanced sonar and imaging systems were deployed to scan the ocean floor in areas previously uncharted. Though the main wreckage of the plane remained elusive, the search led to the discovery of 2 ancient shipwrecks, offering fascinating insights into maritime history. Beyond official efforts, private and crowd-funded initiatives also emerged, involving the public in the hunt for aircraft debris through satellite imagery analysis. Despite these extensive and tireless efforts, the main body of MH370 had not been found as of the latest reports. *** knowledge, cut off in September 2021. However, the quest for MH370 persists, driven by human determination, global cooperation, and a relentless desire to solve one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Was MH370 the target of a cyber hijacking? Could a malicious actor have remotely taken control of the plane, manipulating satellite data, jamming radar signals, or exploiting vulnerabilities in its systems? Investigators have explored a wide range of theories to explain the aircraft's disappearance. One particularly controversial theory focuses on the pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah. This theory suggests that Zahari intentionally diverted the plane off course, possibly for personal or political reasons, and flew it to a remote part of the ocean. While some evidence supports this theory, it remains highly debated. The pilot hijacking theory rests on the idea that Zahari had full control of the plane's systems and deliberately shut off communication and tracking devices to redirect the flight path, which ultimately led to the aircraft crashing into the southern Indian Ocean. A few key pieces of evidence supporting this theory include a flight simulator found in Zahari's home, which contained a flight path similar to MH370's route, even showing a potential landing on a remote island in the Indian Ocean. This suggests he may have rehearsed the diversion in advance. Additionally, the absence of any distress signals or communication from the cockpit raises suspicions. The last communication, Goodnight Malaysian 370, has been viewed by some as a possible farewell message from Zahari. The mystery of MH370 continues to captivate the world, and the search for answers remains an enduring and poignant journey. In addition, military and satellite data revealed that MH370 followed an erratic flight path with sudden altitude changes, suggesting an attempt to evade radar or confuse air traffic controllers. The fact that the plane made several manual turns instead of sticking to a pre-programmed route only adds to the complexity of the situation. A key aspect supporting the pilot hijacking theory is the possible motive or mental state of the pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah. Reports indicate that he may have been dealing with marital issues, political frustration, and mental health struggles. Some speculate that he might have been depressed, suicidal, or seeking to make a dramatic statement by ending his life in a way that would capture global attention. However, this theory faces significant criticism. There is no conclusive evidence or clear motive proving Zahari would take such extreme action. His family and friends have consistently denied any signs of mental instability or radicalization, describing him as a well-respected and professional pilot with no history of erratic behavior. Moreover, pulling off such a complex and covert operation would be incredibly difficult. It would require disabling security systems, locking out the co-pilot, evading military and civilian radar, managing fuel carefully, and ensuring a crash in a remote, undiscovered location. The level of precision needed for such an operation raises doubts about the feasibility of the theory. There are also other possible explanations for the plane's disappearance, such as a fire or electrical failure, a depressurization or hypoxia event, or even cyber hijacking. One unsettling theory suggests that MH370 could have been remotely hijacked by a hostile actor, whether terrorists, rogue states, or military forces. This theory proposes that the plane's systems could have been hacked, with satellite data manipulated, radar signals jammed, or vulnerabilities in the aircraft exploited for malicious purposes. The motives behind such an attack could range from terrorism to political agendas or even military experiments. The idea of cyber hijacking is not purely speculative. In 2015, cybersecurity expert Chris Roberts claimed he successfully hacked into an airplane's in-flight entertainment system and briefly gained control of one of its engines. His intention was to highlight the vulnerabilities in aviation systems and raise awareness of the potential dangers. Similarly, former commercial pilot and security consultant Hugo Tesso demonstrated how he could remotely control an aircraft using an Android app and a radio transmitter. Though some experts have questioned the validity of these claims, they have sparked a serious conversation about the risks of cyber attacks on planes and the need for enhanced security measures. Another theory that has gained attention is the possibility that MH370 was shot down, either intentionally or accidentally, by a missile or fighter jet. This theory suggests the plane could have been mistaken for a hostile aircraft, or it might have been caught in the middle of a military exercise gone wrong. Some even speculate that the incident could have been covered up to avoid public scandal or international conflict. Ultimately, the disappearance of MH370 remains one of aviation's most enduring mysteries. The search for answers continues, but to this day, the fate of the aircraft and the 239 people on board is still unknown. One theory suggests that the aircraft may have been shot down during a joint Thai-US military training exercise taking place in the South China Sea around the same time as the plane's disappearance. This could have resulted from miscommunication, technical glitches, or human error. Former French airline director Marc Dugain claimed to have seen satellite images of unidentified aircraft in the area at that time and alleged he received threats from anonymous sources urging him not to investigate this theory further. Another perspective posits that the plane might have been mistakenly targeted by a state actor who viewed it as a potential threat. Deviations from its flight path, loss of communication, or resemblance to another aircraft could have led to this tragic error. British author Nigel Cawthorne mentions that some believe US or Thai fighter jets may have shot down the plane out of fear it was heading toward their military base on Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. He also suggested that the aircraft might have been carrying sensitive materials or personnel, attracting unwanted attention. Additionally, there are allegations of a cover-up operation, implying that a state actor deliberately targeted the plane to hide their involvement or responsibility. Potential motives for such a cover-up could include political or strategic aims, such as diverting attention, provoking another country, or securing valuable items on board. Ghislaine Watrelot, a French relative of some passengers, speculated that the US Air Force may have downed the aircraft to seize electronic equipment destined for China, hinting at an international conspiracy to suppress the truth. However, it's crucial to note that the shoot-down theory faces numerous challenges and criticisms. One major issue is the lack of conclusive evidence or a clear motive for such an action. To date, no verified information has confirmed the presence of any missile or fighter jet in the vicinity of the plane, nor has any state actor provided a credible reason or intention to shoot it down. Claims based on satellite data remain inconclusive, adding to the complexities of this theory. Furthermore, images and anonymous threats lack official validation. The idea of shooting down a civilian aircraft and orchestrating a cover-up would also involve significant challenges and risks. Such an act would require high-level coordination and authorization, carrying severe legal and diplomatic repercussions. Keeping a complex conspiracy involving multiple countries and agencies under wraps without any leaks or whistleblowers would be extraordinarily difficult. British aeronautical engineer Richard Godfrey claims to have made a significant breakthrough in the investigation of MH370's disappearance. Using innovative aviation tracking technology and integrated datasets, he identified the crash site in the Indian Ocean. His advanced software, known as the Weak Signal Propagation Reporter Network, tracks aircraft movements globally using radio signals, providing more reliable data than traditional radar. He reconstructed MH370's flight path and cross-referenced it with various sources to determine that the crash occurred about 1,933 kilometres west of Perth, Australia. According to his calculations, the plane crashed at a high speed and steep angle, breaking apart and sinking to a depth of about 4,000 metres. While Godfrey's discoveries provide hope for answers and closure for grieving families, some experts have raised questions about his methods and have called for independent verification of his theories. In September 2019, as the enigmatic fate of the aircraft continued to puzzle investigators, most search efforts were concentrated on the vast ocean. However, British video producer Ian Wilson considered a different possibility in his free time. He theorized that the missing Boeing 777 might have crashed on land in a remote jungle, making it extremely hard to locate. Diving into satellite maps of potential flight paths, Ian examined the rainforests of Southeast Asia. After days of searching, he stumbled upon something extraordinary: an object resembling an airplane deep within the Cambodian jungle, roughly 60 miles west of Phnom Penh. The images showed the plane seemingly wedged against a mountain at an angle of about 45 degrees. Despite various airplane pieces washing up in the Indian Ocean, only a handful could be definitively linked to MH370. There was considerable skepticism regarding the theory that the plane had crashed into the ocean, given the numerous potential flight paths it could have taken. This uncertainty prompted Ian and his brother Jackie to pool their resources and journey to the Cambodian jungle to investigate their discovery. Their expedition faced unforeseen challenges, with local guides ultimately turning back due to treacherous terrain, including a formidable waterfall. Nevertheless, the brothers remained convinced that their findings matched the plane's last known position on its flight path. Aviation expert Lieutenant Tim McMillan analysed the satellite images and noted that the object did resemble an airplane stuck in the wilderness. However, he suggested that, based on the scale of the image, it appeared too small to be a Boeing 777. Ultimately, experts concluded that the sighting was not MH370, but rather a different aircraft inadvertently captured in the satellite imagery. Despite this outcome, Ian and Jackie hold on to their belief and plan to undertake another expedition once they secure enough funding. While advancements in aviation tracking technology provide hope for answers, independent verification is crucial to validate these findings. Despite the dedication and determination of both professional investigators and amateur sleuths, the truth surrounding MH370's disappearance remains elusive, leaving grieving families and the world yearning for closure and understanding. Thanks for watching another episode of Mystery Chamber *. If you enjoyed this, be sure to click the video on your screen for more engaging content.